Another glorious Sunday in our wonderful state of Colorado, and downtown Denver off in the distance. A little shot from the foothills. Rockies conclude this 9-game homestand in this 3-game set this afternoon against the San Francisco Giants, currently leading the National League West in a close battle with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who the Rockies will see tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. Welcome inside and upstairs. Glad you're along, as always, with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. We talk pitching to begin the day. Tyler Chatwood is returning to the big leagues, and it'll be the first time in a Rockies uniform he's returning as a starter, and there's a fellow by the name of Lincecum on the other side.
Yeah, the other guy, Lincecum, on the other side. Well, I've been fortunate because I watched Tyler's 3 starts, 3 of his 4 down at the AA level. Things have been corrected a little bit. Now what he's got to do is bring it to the big leagues with him. He was effective at times out of the bullpen. What he likes to do and wants to do is start. That's what he was doing at the AA level, and I felt like Tyler really made improvements there. But on the flip side of all this, you're going to get to see a guy that's won 2 Cy Young Awards, has been one of the most special athletes in the game, but he's been roughed up by the Rockies, particularly in his last start here. 2 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts. And Drew, if you eliminate record and ERA, which you can't, but if you did, you looked at Lincecum's numbers and you go, why? Because he's got 130 strikeouts and 126 innings. Hits are about equal with innings pitched. He can't stay away from one big inning. And it seems like he cruises for 3 or 4. Then all of a sudden, that 5th inning, he'll blow up and give up 3 or 4 runs.
George, it's a great point. 7 times this year, Lincecum has allowed 3 runs or more in an inning. That never happened to him in the past. See if the Rockies can get after him this afternoon. When we come back, we'll continue this theme of pitching and talk a little bit more about the significant woes the Rockies are having in their starting rotation. That'll be next. This afternoon, the Rockies and Giants. The Giants won last night 11-6. It was a tough outing for Jeff Francis yesterday. That has been, as you know, a continuing theme for the Rockies this year. Their starting rotation has an ERA well above 6.
It's difficult because of what you're trying to accomplish here, and throwing strikes, I think, has been the biggest issue for anybody in baseball. And I think if you look at the walks, third most, 365, the wins, 38. Pitchers this season, but starters only 18. The ERA is very high on both parts of this. The home runs allowed, most ever, and it's their most this year by a ball club. The strikeouts are in the middle of the rung, and again, this is something they tried to preach early on. Pitch to contact, shorten innings up. Proof of this for me was the other night when Alex White started. 12 ground ball outs. A guy that typically has set 93, 96. He's pitching 88, 91, and he said that was fun because they were swinging early in counts because he was ahead. He didn't have to go to a split finger, didn't have to go to a slider. A lot of ground ball outs. He worked through 5 innings. He threw strikes. And it sounds real easy for you and I to sit up here and talk about throw strikes. And I laughed, Drew, because with Bill Gavette and I were talking about this the other day, and I said to him, it's difficult for a ground ball to jump over the fence. I've never seen one do it in my life. And he said, absolutely. Pitch to contact, keep the ball on the ground, and let those other guys play.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the pitching this year, and the pitching woes is clearly the largest reason the Rockies are where they are. What you hope to see is some consistency with the young guys. That has not occurred yet. We'll see what happens Alex White's next time out. We'll see a young guy coming up. Tyler Chatwood has the baseball this afternoon against Tim Lincecum. It's the Rockies and the Giants. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. So Tyler Chatwood, the youngest member of the Rockies, jogs to the hill. He's all at 22. Forgot something. Got to pick up the baseball. Hard to warm up without one. Angel Pagan, who's been red hot in this series, will lead things off. He'll be followed in the Southwest batting order of Bruce Bochy by the Riot, Ryan Theriot, the former Chicago Cub. Then Melky Cabrera having another outstanding year. coming back to the National League last year, terrific with the Royals. Buster Posey's been sensational. Hunter Pence, newly acquired from Philadelphia. Marcos Scutaro from the Rockies. Hector Sanchez, Brandon Crawford, and Tim Lincecum to face Chatwood. And one of the things you keep hearing about Tyler Chatwood throughout spring training, you heard this, and then in his brief time in the big leagues, George, his stuff's outstanding.
It is outstanding, and I watched 3 of his 4 starts in Tulsa, and he really worked hard on reducing a little bit of velocity off his curveball to get the break of the hands in the proper place. And I really thought he was in a good place at Tulsa. I thought he was mentally prepared. I mean, a demotion all the way back to the league that he had dominated, but he came back there and dominated again. And I think this was probably something that he needed to do. I saw flashes of 97, 98 with very good command. And he got roughed up in one start, and he rebounded off that start. So Tyler's getting an opportunity to come back here and do what he truly wants to do, and that is start. So now you just keep that spot rolling with consistency. In his career, he's made 25 career starts at the big league level. He's 6-11 with an earned run average of 4.81.
Well, the Rockies had to make a roster move to get Tyler Chatwood on the 25-man. Jonathan Sanchez placed on the DL with left biceps tendonitis.
In this series so far, the Giants have jumped early in the ballgame. Yesterday, the Giants scored 2 in the first. On Friday night, they scored 2 in the first.
Well, the Rockies have given up a boatload of runs in a lot of innings, particularly that first inning.
And the one thing Tyler will fight early in this game is his command of throwing strikes, because at the Double-A level, they will swing at a lot of fastballs that are not strikes. They'll swing at balls up in the zone.
Two 2-0 right now on Angel Pagan, and that pitch at the knees at 93. Home plate umpires, the veteran Jeff Nelson. Bill Welke's at first. Chris Caccioni's at second. Tim Cheetah's the crew chief. He's at third.
And a beautiful day for baseball. Man, oh man, is it gorgeous.
Just flat gorgeous. Absolutely. Made the ride down, George, from Steamboat early this morning. It was, you know what? It was breathtaking.
Oh, it's just unbelievable coming out of those mountains. I can imagine just looking at all the scenery, beautiful scenery. You kind of forget where you are.
3-1 on Pagan, and a 5-pitch walk. So Chatwood not throwing strikes to the first hitter. And as you can see on the forward strike zone, really not close other than the 1 pitch at the knees. Ryan Theriot coming up. Defensively, the Rockies have Cargo in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Tyler Colvin in right. Pacheco at third, Rutledge at short, Jonathan Herrera and Todd Helton back in there. Willeen Rosario got a little time at third yesterday. That was not real familiar for him. Though he takes ground balls there. He's back behind the plate. So Pagan, who can really run, draws a throw initially from Chatwood. This may be the best San Francisco Giant lineup, especially when they get Pablo Sandoval back, that we've seen in quite some time.
Well, I like the fact Crawford back at shortstop. I mean, his average won't jump out and say, wow, but it's, you know, he's one of these kids that really plays well for Bochy. Defensively, he's very solid. But you're right. You put Pablo back in, Scutaro goes over to second, or he could even play short and spell Crawford. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do with this team now.
Theriot shows bunt, and that pitch misses. It's 1-0. Chatwood making his 8th appearance of the year. It's his first start, 7 out of the pen for the Rockies. It's his 26th career start. Of course, with the Angels last year, he was in the rotation for most of the season. 18 bags for Pagan. Not going, and that pitch isn't in there. And you know what? Now you're going to get a take sign if you're Ryan Theriot. He'll look down at Tim Flannery. 6 of the first 7 pitches from Chatwood. Nowhere close to the zone. 2-1, and of course Terrio was taken the whole way. Giants going for their 4th sweep of the year, and Terrio hits it slowly. It's going to be cut off by Pacheco. He can't hold on to the baseball, and everybody is safe. It'll be an error on Jordan. He would have had the force on Pagan. The ball just popped out of his hand.
And that's exactly, he came up on a really nice play to get to the baseball and cut it off before it got to Rutledge. On a really high hop, going to take it, and right here when he brought it up out of the glove, never got a grip on the baseball, tried to recover to get the out at first, didn't happen. And it's just kind of one thing after the other with this ball club. Made it difficult, more difficult to be able to complete an inning.
Melky Cabrera will step up. 352 average, well on his way to another 200 hit season. And the changeup crossed up William Rosario, so now he's got to go out again.
Rosario expecting fastball. See this ball up, he goes to get it, and then a curveball down. That's difficult. So now you make sure you got your signs correct and make sure you get back in there. Rosario trying to be the leader everybody wants him to be behind the plate. Pats on the back and encouragement. Jim Tracy right now just kind of thinking all of a sudden, and it's hard, Drew, to manage a team thinking, okay, I've got to start thinking about my bullpen in the first inning instead of the 6 or 7.
One and one on Cabrera. Former Yankee, former Atlanta Brave, who's blossomed the last couple of years. In fact, since the start of last year, nobody has more hits in the game than Melky Cabrera. That was a good off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. He's got 10 more hits than Adrian Gonzalez. 14 more than Miguel Cabrera coming in. Here's the 1-2, and that's slowly hit. Another chance for Pacheco, and he'll get Cabrera by a step. The runners move to second and third. Works as a sacrifice, and here comes the top RBI man for the Giants, Buster Posey, who is as hot as any hitter in the game in the second half.
He is one of the hottest hitters in the second half, and doing it with power and driving in runs. And thought maybe yesterday today he might get the day off after catching 2 nights, but they got to keep that bat in there. Inside fastball that he just opened up on early in the ball game and hit out from Jeff Francis. And you know, Jeff yesterday, 2 mistakes made, 2 ended in the seats.
Top of the strike zone at 95 with some tail on it. Strike 1 on Buster Posey, hitting .453 since the All-Star break. The only hitter in baseball, or excuse me, in the National League above 400 during that stretch. McCutcheon's hitting .397. You know who's on that list, George? Mike McHenry, the former Rocky. He's doing a great job with the Pirates. He's 4th in the league in the second half. For Clint Hurdle, he's hitting .382.
Some guys find their place in baseball in a different uniform. Good block by,
yeah.
Well, and the reason I say that's a good block, folks, is because Rosario at times has pushed the ball so far away from him, allows runners to advance. He deadened the ball off the body and kept it right in front of him, so there was no opportunity for advancement to the home plate area.
Two and one on Posey, and a bad curveball. 3-1. Seventh start at first base this year for Buster Posey, and now they're loaded. Hunter Pence will approach. The Giants looking to have another quick start against the Rockies rotation. Chatwood with 1 out. And the base is full of Giants. Hunter Pence has scuffled a little bit so far since coming from Philadelphia. 2 for 17. Probably says, I was just at Coors Field about a week ago with the Phils.
You know, and I don't know if they'll do this because there's only 1 out and a runner at third. But I'd almost say, you know, are you more comfortable right now for a strike out of your windup or your stretch? I know conventionally you would say stay in your stretch because of squeezes and everything else, but you're in the heart of their order. Go to your windup, get out of this thing. You know, what do you feel comfortable doing right now?
Pence hits it in the air down the right field line. It's going to twist foul.
And the one thing Pence has fought, according to Bruce Bochy, and he fought it over in Philadelphia, where he gets his hits is when pitchers make mistakes middle half in because his front shoulder is flying so much, the front lower half flies an awful lot. The Giants this year have struggled with the bases loaded for Bruce Bochy. 189 overall average.
Pence, when he was here with the Phillies not all that long ago, hit a home run. Tough guy to double, too. He runs well. Here's the 0-1. Chatwood overthrew that, flew open a little bit. Rosario reminding him to stay close with that front shoulder. It's 1-1. Hunter Pence with his signature high socks.
Makes you look like you're running faster.
Way inside. That goes off of Rosario. A run will score. Everybody moves up. That either was not well received or was another cross up. He kind of moved late. It's a ball that's, again, nowhere near the strike zone, but it's still got to be caught. That'll be a pass ball. It's 13 pass balls, a continuing Rockies record.
Wanting a fastball up and in. It appeared to look like Rosario thought the ball was going to hit the batter, Pence, because he kind of ducked his body to the right and it put the glove up left.
1-0 San Francisco. Here's the 2-1, and Pence hits it sharply. It would have been a double play ball. Another run comes around. Pence gets his 62nd RBI as Terrio scores. Well, we said it many, many times. You pay for bad baseball. There's been 2 walks and an error in the inning and a pass ball.
And it's 2-0. The ball hadn't left the infield.
Nope. Marco Scutaro. Overall, Marco at 277. He hit hard luck, as you recall, in April with the Rockies, and then really turned things around and is right around the numbers he generally puts up. Last year, he hit 299 with the Red Sox.
Bill Hayes, one of their coaches that works in the bullpen alongside Mark Gardner. Scutaro walked by today in their locker room. He looked at me and he goes, "A pro's pro." Boy, we're lucky to get him. At this time of the year, to get this type of a player, he said he is just a professional player in every aspect of the game.
Now, Brian Sabian, George, the last few years, he's been very active around the trade deadline. And some have worked out, some haven't. They got Carlos Beltran last year from the Mets, and that worked out okay. They just didn't want to foot the bill going forward. They felt like their money would be better served in other areas. This ball chopped to Pacheco. So the Giants get 2. The Rockies walk 2, commit an error, and a pass ball. So it's uphill climb again early. Sunday afternoon at Coors Field, the Giants have 2 runs, and that's not a misprint. They don't have any hits. Dexter Fowler will lead things off for the Rockies. Take a look at Jim Tracy's lineup presented by Southwest.com. Josh Rutledge, what a story he has been. 6 home runs, 20 ball games. He'll bat second. The Rockies will have Todd Helton batting third. Cargo again will bat cleanup. We'll shake up their last couple days. Pacheco will bat fifth. Then Colvin Rosario and his 18 home runs. Jonathan Herrera and Tyler Chatwood. Tim Lincecum will make his 20th career start against the Rockies. 8-6 with a 377 lifetime against Colorado.
Well, 8-6, Drew mentioned that. I look at it as what he's done in a body of work. You remember a year ago, so when he was horrible for about 2 months, and then all of a sudden here it came middle of August and in the middle of a pennant chase, and he tuned it up to be the Cy Young type pitcher that he was. Well, his last 2, he has gone 2-1 with a 270 earned run average. The opposition has hit just 228 against him. His road numbers this year are horrible. 2-6 with an 817 earned run average.
Yeah, his last outing, George, was real good. He beat the Mets 4-1, 7 innings, a run on 6 hits, punched out 7, and 1 walk. The whole thing for him is fastball command, isn't it, for everybody, you say? But if he can get ahead, then that devastating changeup comes into play. But he has struggled to do that this year. He's ahead right now 1-2. I mean, when people talk about last year, the velocity's down, his velocity's fine.
It's 90 to 92. Yes, he threw 94, 95 when he was younger, but let's face it. This young man has now logged in his career a ton of innings. And I think that's something that gets kind of put aside at times, is because of his body size and what he is and what they've asked him to do at an early age, working very deep into ball games. 1,464 innings.
He went fastball again. It's 3-2 on Dexter. Lincecum in the middle of June turned 28. 4-time All-Star.
Well, look at this. Coming in his career, we talked about those 1 or 2 big innings that get Lincecum in a game. In his career, the opposition had hit 212 against him with runners in scoring position. One of the top 4 in all of baseball. This year, they're hitting 280.
Dexter 5 for 21 lifetime against Lincecum. Both Cargo and Hilt have real good numbers against Tim Lincecum. Of course, the guy who owned Lincecum is now an Angel. That was Chris Iannetta. This ball's ripped to right and deep, and it's caught. Running up against the wall by Hunter Pence. He got a very good read on that baseball.
Well, that's one thing he does bring to their ball club that normally has not been there, is his ability in the outfield to cover ground. He's very fast. Dexter got a fastball out over the plate. Really got good extension. I think Lincecum thought when it left the bat it had a chance to get out. Pence stayed right on it and made the catch.
And here's a guy that everybody's talking about, Josh Rutledge. He takes strike 1, his first matchup with Lincecum. 346 average, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, all in 20 ball games for the kid out of the University of Alabama. And this is lined down the right field line foul. Last night, he hit another one, George.
Got a middle half fastball, and he did catch it. Bumgarner had been trying to work that cutter under the hands of right-handers all day, and all of a sudden the youngster just opened that front side up and got after it. He's going to chase a high fastball from Lincecum at 91. Changed direction on him, a 3-pitch at bat.
2 outs, nobody on. Helton will come up. The Giants, after a real difficult start defensively have been better since June. They have Cabrera, Pagan, and Pence, and as George mentioned, it's an upgrade with Pence playing every day in right field. The infield has Scudero, Brandon Crawford, Terrio, Posey at first, and behind the plate, Hector Sanchez. That's strike one on Hilton. Todd hitting .333, or .351, I should say. Gonzalez hitting .333 against Lincecum. Todd does own a home run against the former Washington star. First time Todd has started in the 3 spot all year. And for more than a decade, you could write in a lineup every single day of the year for the Rockies and put Helton in, and you wouldn't have to erase it.
Never. And this young man has had a terrific career, obviously, and it's not over yet. There's a lot of people thinking it is, but it's not. Still has the desired drive to be out here.
And Helton lines this ball toward right center field, and a bad route by Pagan, and Helton will stop at second base. When he wore a younger man's shoes, that would have been an easy triple.
Well, Todd with the back and hip problems right now make it a little hard as Peyton Manning and Jim Kellogg look on to watch their good friend Todd Helton. Look at that, hands in. Look at his eyes. You talk about tracking a ball. He tracked that thing all the way into home plate and off of the bat when it left. Been an absolute pleasure watching this guy.
That is his 570th double. Just too shy of the now retired Pudge Rodriguez. Todd's now 44th on the all-time list in extra base hits. That was his 960th. He's tied with Robin Yount, who's in the Hall of Fame. And there's the first look at that changeup. If you're wondering why Jim Tracy has shuffled the lineup the last couple days, he's trying to create a little more traffic for Cargo to hit. Amazing to think this, George, but talking to some people with the Giants, they say he's lost confidence, Tim Lincecum.
Yeah, that's something that puzzles you when you're 74 and 52 in your career. That you've lost a little confidence about your aggressiveness and why you're here.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a better first 5 years of a big league career for a pitcher than what Lincecum has on his resume. Way inside, and that's going to go past Hector Sanchez, and Helton will go to third on a wild pitch. So the pattern also continues, George. Cargo so rarely has seen a fastball since Tulowitzki went on the DL.
13th wild pitch for Lincecum too. That's a bunch. And really missed it here. He's throwing 19 pitches, 11 strikes, 8 balls right now. And a little conversation out at the mound to make sure everybody's on the same page of what we're doing here, give him a little bit of a break. Sanchez like, you know what, we got Buster, took a day off. We're going to let him take that day off. He's thinking about rolling out here, and then he says, you know what, I'm going to have to grab this thing with my bare hand. Well, maybe I'm not. Shot right on the thumb.
You know what'll be interesting here, George, 3-1, and we were talking about how the fact that Cargo just does not see fastballs. On deck's Jordan Pacheco. I guarantee you here that he sits soft. In other words, he's going to sit changeup, breaking ball here.
And let's see what they do. Let's see if they elevate a fastball as they had in the past. Whatever it is, they're going away from it. Fastball and elevate it. It's like, you know, why not just go ahead and walk the guy?
Yeah, they weren't going to throw that anywhere near the zone. So Cargo will go to first, and Jordan Pacheco will come up. 2-0 San Francisco. 2 outs, runners at first and third. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. So Pacheco, who's been Mr. Steady, 303 average. He's driven in 24. He can add to that total with a knock here. See if Cargo, George, looks to take off. Lincecum traditionally does not hold runners real well.
And you know what? Right now, I don't think he cares. I really don't. I think he's just trying to get through this inning without damage. You know, so take advantage of it. So if you do get that base hit by Jordan, you'll drive in a couple. Hit at your pace, not Tim Lincecum's pace. In other words, I like what he did there. Step out of the box.
And that's out of play. 1-1. We talk about it on occasion, Frage, but at this level, there are certain runners who have a green light, and you rely on their wisdom. There goes Cargo. Big jump and a flare to left center that's going to drop. Helton will score. Gonzalez to third, and it's 2-1. Jordan Pacheco coming through. 25th RBI for the former University of New Mexico Lobo.
And again, Pacheco getting to hit in RBI situations since hitting 4th and 5th in the lineup, and 6th even, he has come through. 84-mile-an-hour flat slider from Lincecum, and he just gets right on top of this thing and just sends it out into the outfield. You see it on the Mike Shaw Super Bowl shot here. Floated out. See Todd come in and score to make it a 2-1 ball game. Yeah, you know what? It wasn't a slider. Coming out almost like a forked ball. It is a forked ball. Another pitch he's trying to experiment change with. But see how that ball is tumbling sideways, or almost 3/4, instead of down tumble, which creates the down move on the baseball.
Got it off toward the end of the bat, but got it over Brandon Crawford's head. 1st and 3rd for Tyler Colvin. Off the top of the broadcast, we were talking about Lincecum this year. 7 times has given up 3 runs or more in an inning. He hasn't been able to put down an inning as he so frequently did in the past. And that fastball's away.
He just blow you away. In the past, you get him in a little bit of a pinch. He'd just step up and all of a sudden see you later. I mean, he'd throw away an inning in a heartbeat because he had that ability to strike you out.
4 extra base hits in the last 3 starts for Tyler Colvin. Here's the 1-0. And looked like he held up. 2-0.
Well, right now he's like a lost man. Not command of the fastball, changeup, slider, or forkball. His team gave him a 2-0 lead on a gift from the Rockies, and he's staring at a left-handed bat that's swinging it pretty good. And he's just not command of anything. 25 pitches he's thrown in the first.
Good pass through the zone there on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for Colvin.
When he's been in the lineup of late, Colvin has done such a great job of what he was doing early. He struggled right after the break because I think he got pull happy. Personal opinion. All of a sudden now he starts going to the opposite field and back up the middle with authority. A lot of base hits, and the average has started to climb back where it was in the beginning. It's 282.
Two and one on Colvin. 3-1. You have Rosario on deck. Oh my goodness, that's thrown away almost by Hector Sanchez. It's like he had Elmer's glue on his hand, George.
Well, we laugh about it. Sanchez might have a smile right now, and Bruce Bochy's like, hold on a minute, what happened here? Wow. Lincecum almost pulls his back muscle trying to backhand it.
You know,
watch Lincecum right here. Watch this. What? Really? Hold on. It's like the rundown last night. I hope we got some footage of that, because all 9 of their position players were between second and third in that rundown.
3-1 on the corner. Here's
last
what you're
night,
referring to.
last night. Now watch this, all right? Now watch as it gets started, all right? You're going to pick off. Here's one. Throw back 2. Here they come. You see Cabrera coming in. He wants to play jump rope. Let me in. You know, Pence comes in from right field. And there's 8 guys out there. 9 guys standing out there.
Here's the 3-2. No swing. The bases are loaded for Rosario. Second walk in the inning for Lincecum. All of this has occurred with 2 outs. Fowler lined to deep right. Rutledge struck out on 3 pitches. Then Helt doubled. Cargo walked. Pacheco singled. And now the walk to Colvin has loaded him up for Rosario.
In a normal scenario, I think you'd see Lincecum throw breaking ball here. But he hadn't had command of it yet.
And that's a good call, George, because he went fastball.
And that's normally the fastball Rosario turns on, but with all the walks you'd seen, you're probably thinking not going to do it. Rosario 1 for 5 with the bases loaded this year.
One and one. Moline had a pinch hit home run against against Brian Fuentes, and then the other night hit a home run off of Ryan Vogelsong, who's had a terrific year. He got the fastball up and in, didn't catch it.
Oh
though,
my God! Is he getting the yips?
Nearly threw it away again.
Well, look at Terrio though. He's standing in behind him now at the mound in case he's got to chase it down. There you go. I got it. Whoop! You getting the yips?
You know, George, I know you were kidding, but he could get Lincecum hurt just trying to catch the baseball. 1-2.
That ball was a little bit away from Moline, and he was able to get the bat on it. The previous one was above his hands.
You know what? He's got something going now. Jeff Nelson, sometimes umpires, folks, will throw the ball out themselves. And a lot of times they'll just hand it to the catcher. He handed it to Sanchez, and Sanchez wrong-footed it, lobbed it to Lincecum. Lincecum had to reach down at his shoe to make the catch. Let's watch this one. George, you've seen it before. You can tell when a guy's guiding it, and he's guiding it right now.
Well, you know, Johnny Bench had a little bit of that, throwing it back right to second. He just flip it up in the air, back to you. He had it timed, you know. Guys get the heaves, the yips, call it whatever you want. It ain't good behind the plate.
It's ended some careers. Here's the 2-2. This is pulled down the line, just foul. Remember Mackey Sasser?
Oh, yeah. I'm just, I'm watching him now. He's just flipping it out there. And Boach is looking down. Now, he's probably fine throwing the bases because you speed everything up. You don't think about it. Now, the line drive, Cargo, pay attention. Atta baby.
This is the 36th pitch of the first inning for Lincecum. 2-1 Giants. And it's a fly ball to Pence and right. This will get Lincecum out of it. Rockies will leave them loaded. They did come up with a run. One frame completed. Giants 2, Rockies 1. We'll take a look at the road ahead, powered by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Step up to the plate, get more miles per gallon with the hottest car line in America, Hyundai. The Rockies on the road all next week. In fact, they'll be in LA and then San Francisco. They'll have Thursday off. There's our schedule right here on Root Sports this season. Save responsibly when you shop at your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Check it out at coloradohyundai.com. Here's a little bit more on the Dodgers chasing the Giants. The half game out. You know they can pitch. Hitting's been problematic for them. They tried to address it via trades. Capuano, Harang, and Billingsley. So the Rockies won't see Joe Blanton or Clayton Kershaw. Blanton was just acquired from the Phillies on Friday. Phillies, last person in Philadelphia turn out the lights like Houston.
No question. Yeah, and the other side of that is too. Victorino's over there, just going to improve their ball club playing in left field.
I agree. They picked up League also too, a hard throwing right-hander from Seattle.
I want to go back and look at something, Drew. On the wild pitch earlier in the first inning with Lincecum pitching, watch this ball away. Now it's going to hit him right in the thumb area. See, that caught him flush. So now when you go back to the dugout after, we're up here wondering if he's got yips, he's got all these other things. But in the dugout, Posey came up to him immediately. He's like, hey, just flip this thing any way you can. Are you okay? Just flip it back, Soft toss it back till you got to go, because I guarantee that thumb must be pretty swollen right now, and that's what's causing a lot of the grip issues, because he doesn't have anything on the bottom of the ball guiding it.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good call. So fortunately for Hector, because you don't want to see any player get that.
Well,
I don't care, opponent or not. You don't want to see a player suffer through what Steve Sachs, Chuck Knobloch, where they really struggle to throw the baseball, becomes a mental issue. So, George, I think you're absolutely right. I think it has to do with, based on what we were watching with the trainer, it has to do with the fact that he got nailed there.
All busted up. And their other top catchy prospect, Eli Whiteside's still in AAA. They could bring him back if this guy couldn't go. They've got another kid named Jackson Williams that has done a really nice job. Second hit in the series for Sanchez. He pinch hit the other day on a ball just similar to that, a breaker ball, and he hit it to right field.
Went down and got the breaking ball. So a leadoff single, the first of the game for the Giants, despite the fact that they have 2 runs. Crawford coming up, join in on the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. And fans, make sure to send your comments into the Toyota text line to enter to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo, so you can see the new Toyota Elephant Passage exhibit. What's your favorite Olympic sport? Our question of the day. Right now, the Giants have thrown out back-to-back singles at the bottom of their order. So what's your favorite Olympic sport? George, what would yours be?
Well, this is crazy, but I pole vaulted and high jumped in high school, and I really like the pole vault. Now, that sounds like, of all things to pick,
do you have any old footage? Do you have any old footage?
Yes, I do, but you'll never see it. Yes, I do. It's on a Super 8, and they don't make machines anymore that run it.
I know you were an outstanding hooper, and I know you had really good leaping ability, so high jump makes some sense. Pole vault, man, that's...
Started in the 5th grade with a bamboo pole. Was the first guy in the state of Missouri to jump with a fiberglass pole.
Really? Did you ever miss the pit?
Once.
That explains things.
Tore the ankle, and that wasn't a good sign. First time, because I landed in sawdust for so long.
Oh,
we
really?
didn't have foam. And then we got foam. That's when I turned my ankle. I wasn't used to landing on my backside.
Yeah,
be soft and fuzzy,
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, foam came in 48.
It was 47, about
47?
June of 47 it came in. And it made it a lot easier.
Yeah. First and second, Lincecum in a sacrifice situation, nobody out. I like the pole vault.
Well, it was fun for me. I jumped 14.6 in high school.
That's outstanding.
I jumped 6.8 in high school. I had a lot of fun. It's just something I really enjoyed to do, and I don't know why. I was just didn't need anybody else to do anything. I just put the bar up myself and go back and jump again. Lincecum trying to get his 4th sacrifice this year. There's a young man, I can't think of his name now, at Oral Roberts University, and Coach Dahl that's there, it jumped, the first to jump 17 feet. He's a really good pole vaulter. Watching him, and I asked him, I said, he went to the Olympic trials, but wasn't successful there, but he jumped 18.6. Watching him indoors jumping 18 feet was a whole lot higher than 14 feet.
Yeah, that's up there.
Trusting the pole, trusting everything about it.
Here's the 1-1, and that's not close. 2-1.
Well, the other thing that starts to jump out at you. Velocity's been fine for Tyler today. It's been, and I look at this big time, is your ball strike ratio. And right now he's thrown 19 balls, 16 strikes. And it was just a direct opposite of that in his AA starts. I mean, he just, it was like a 2-1, almost 3-1 scenario. Lincecum didn't look like he wanted to bunt it. He didn't. He even to count up 2-2.
Sign's not going to change, Tim. And Lincecum strikes out. 1 out. Angel Pagan coming up. Today's Save of the Week is brought to you by the region's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your local consumer-owned electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. That's the play Cargill made a few days ago. Left the ball in the ballpark. Turned into a double.
And the attitude you have to take on the mound right now is, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to make a pitch to get out of this, whether it's the sinker, the hard breaking ball, and get a ground ball double play. The first inning, other than the pass ball, the couple of walks, is the ball didn't leave the infield. You give up 2 runs.
Pagan with that first inning walk is now reached in 10 of 13 plate appearances. First 2+ games of this series.
Giants people tell me Pagan a much more comfortable player now. So much comparisons made to him to so many famous center fielders in New York that he felt he had to live up to all that all the time.
Ball to second, and Johnny Herrera is going to get a force. That's a tremendous play by Herrera. He's able to get Brandon Crawford. How many second basemen even venture to make the throw in this direction?
Well, they wouldn't, because Helton's going to break to the bag as the runner waited. Johnny, maybe that's why he made that decision, because Crawford waited to let the ball pass, so he knew it bought him a little bit of time. But to make a jump throw and an accurate throw, pretty special job by Johnny. You really see it here on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, where the ball was thrown and how perfect of a throw it was to Josh Rutledge.
First and third, 2 outs. Ryan Theriot, who reached on an error by Jordan Pacheco, his first time up. And a stolen base for Pagan, 19th of the year.
If you're wondering why Wallin would not utilize that arm and make the throw, is because a lot of times with 2 outs, you're leaving your defense still. In other words, you're not having to move to the bag and open a hole. If you do move, and that opens in a base hit, now you got 2 runs in because he's on the move. If you just hold the baseball, it keeps everybody in place. Plus, you don't run the risk of throwing the ball away and let him steal a run from you.
Here's the 1-1, and pulled toward the hole. Rutledge with plenty of arm strength, and he gets Theriot comfortably. Nice play by Josh Rutledge, and that prevents the Giants from putting another marker on the board. Middle of 2, Giants 2, Rockies 1.
Coors Field, a 2-1 lead for the Giants. Tim Lincecum back on the hill. Let's get to today's Chevy's Dare to Compare, brought to you by the Chevy Equinox. 32 highway miles, outperforms its competitors. Chevy made for Colorado. This is all about Tim Lincecum. Look at his career mark, April through July, 53 and 31. August and September, 500. And then early in his career, 40 wins. Since 2010, virtually 500, 34 and 35. I know that Drew and George have been talking about how that first inning he threw a ton of pitches and was really kind of fighting things, but he threw a lot of pitches early on in his career too, guys.
Well, he did, and I think that's why he's paying for it now, Mark, is because he did throw a lot of pitches early in his career. He did obviously dominate April, May, and June, but now he's in that situation where there's been a lot of wear and tear on this body.
Numbers on Johnny Herrera this year. He's hit 3 home runs in 48 games. Pretty impressive for a guy not known for hitting the long ball. And that's fouled off 1 and 2 on Johnny.
When he was on his Double-A rehab, Paulino was pitching for Northwest Arkansas. And Johnny, in the first inning, who was leading off for the Tulsa Drillers, got a 94-mile-an-hour heater, and he just smoked it out of the ballpark to right field.
1-2. Johnny does a lot of that, though. Serves a single to right field. And that'll bring up Chatwood, leadoff man aboard here in a 2-1 ball game in the second. Giants up a run. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank member FDIC. Chatwood's an outstanding athlete. He's a very good position player in high school, played shortstop. Came to pitching actually a little bit later on, George, in his high school career. I think when fans get to meet him for the first time, they're always surprised that Tyler Chatwood is not bigger. You're used to starting pitchers typically being, 6'4", 6'5". Jeff Francis is 6'5", Pomerantz is 6'5". Chatwood gets the bunt down. I mean, Chatwood's 5'10".
Well, and realize too, a lot of people say, well, where do they work on their bunting? Well, when they play National League teams in the Texas League, the pitcher hits. So there's a lot of time spent with Dwayne Espy and Riggs down there that work on the bunting side of things. Prepared himself perfectly for this. The bat is at eye level. Bring the ball down. Did a good job with it. Popped it right out front and killed it. He really focused on making sure he had the contact of that.
Dexter lined to deep right, his initial at bat. Taking another look at Tim Lincecum. Johnny Herrera tying run at second base. Dexter doesn't hit the ball to left frequently, but Cabrera is very shallow, and Pagan in center field is somewhat shallow. Rockies just 2-5 against San Francisco this year, but you're going to see him again next weekend at AT&T. Lincecum 4-3 with a 4.31 ERA lifetime at Coors Field. This is his 12th career start at Coors Field. Learned before the ball game, Chris Nelson will rejoin the club tomorrow in LA. Been rehabbing with Colorado Springs. And look what happens. Fly ball to left field. Cabrera is over there. And Johnny will go back to the bag. 2 outs.
The Camarena Loft, located in center field, is a great place for an option to go out with your group if you can't want to get into one of the suite areas, want to stay outside the ballpark. That right field area is outstanding. Selected dates are available. See if you can take your group out there in 303 Rockies or ColoradoRockies.com/Camarena. You guys are having fun. You're on TV. Wave. Your mother's watching. Wave. Oh, come on. That's it. Wave. I'll wave back to you. Wave.
Rutledge takes ball one. Josh struck out on 3 pitches. His first look at Tim Lincecum. The other things that has been impressive, in addition to the numbers you see at the bottom of your screen, those are off the chart numbers for anybody in 20 ball games, but he's been able to adjust very quickly. One of the reasons he's been able to hit 341. He adjusts to how a pitcher's working him, not only from at bat to at bat, but sometimes within an at bat. And he will surprise you for a guy that's, you know, a well put together 185 pounds. I mean, you're not looking at Matt Holliday up there, but he has tremendous bat speed.
Quick to the baseball, extremely quick, which creates bat speed.
2-1.
That's the difference a lot of times when you face a former Cy Young Award winner. 2-0 count slider. You'll see that a lot in Double-A or High A, either one. That's where Drew's talking about making adjustments and adjusting to the league, because they will adjust to you, trust me.
2-1, and it's at Cabrera in left. He'll make the catch, and Johnny Herrera is left at second. 2 innings complete. The Giants 2 and the Rockies 1. In the first inning without the benefit of a hit. The inning they got 2 hits in. The last inning they did not score. 2-1 they lead. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. After watching the Rockies this afternoon, stick around for Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. Every week we remind you to look for the keyword during the program. Text it to 720-720 for a chance to receive prizes. You'll hear from the skipper and have some opportunities to win some great giveaways. That's Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy every Sunday on Root Sports. Curveball is in there for a strike on Melky Cabrera.
And the difference in that curveball and the last couple that he has thrown was that here it is, hit it. I'm going to flip one in here instead of trying to make it the nastiest curveball he's thrown all day.
And usually, George, correct me if you disagree, you can do that when there's no count. You don't have to throw the nasty hook because it's almost an elephant. It's the front door curveball.
Well, what you're doing, it's a front end curveball for a strike, but where you really can utilize that too is in a 2-0 count. It's a fastball count. I'm looking dead red. I'm going to turn on this thing, and then you flip a 74-mile-an-hour hook in there. It's a big advantage.
Cabrera, Tim Flannery, down and up. Nice job, Timmy. some years ago. It was the All-Star game. This happened to Tommy Lasorda. It took a little while longer for Tommy to get up. Now somebody goes down in the on the Giant bench.
Zito.
Was it Zito?
Yeah.
We're going to see the white towels pretty soon. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, comeback. Buster Posey walked his first time. The 0-1.
Well, if you're going out on the road as the Rockies are and you're out traveling around, subscribe to MLB.tv to see every Rockies out of market game online or on your favorite device in HD quality when you're not at the house.
To short, Rutledge throws out. Posey, 2 outs. Hunter Pence will come up with 2 gone and nobody on. Our fun fact today presented by All Copy Products. 1904, there was no World Series because the New York Giants refused to play the inferior junior circuit champion, the Boston Americans, although there was also a business rivalry between the 2 leagues. Giants manager John McGraw held a grudge evidently against American League president Ban Johnson. So no World Series back in 1904. (2-0) on Hunter Pence. John McGraw managed the Giants for a long time. And it's 3-0. That 1904 team for the Giants, George, went 106-47. Almost matched the year later, won 105 games in 1905. A couple years later, Frazier, they lost some free agents. They filled 82 wins.
Dougie, 109, what was it, 116 or 119 wins by Seattle Mariners?
116. And they lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, the new season started and they flunked out.
3-2 now on Pence.
Yeah, Pence helped him out. A couple of high fastballs and one away that he swung at, one he fouled off. So take advantage of this. You got a little free swinging going on up there. Go after it.
Chopper to Pacheco, and he just did get it to Helton in time. Good strong inning. Tyler Chatwood, 3 ground balls. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, 2-1 San Francisco. Helton, Cargo, and Pacheco against Tim Lincecum here in the third. Hear from our own Cowboy every week by visiting the Write Up Cowboy section of the Root Sports website. Hall of Famer Tracy Ringlefield keep you updated on a lot of subjects. First pitch to Helton. Misses ball one. And check out all you need to know on the Cowboy at rootsports.com/Rocky Mountain.
If you want to find something out about the Cowboy, Helton lined out. Just go to Wyoming, because there isn't anybody in that state that doesn't know him. I can tell you right now, from the frontier days of walking around on the midway to the buck and shoots, all the way into the back to the pins and everywhere else to the chuck wagon dinner, the governor is well known there.
That does not surprise me.
I'm going to tell you how bad it is. I went over and met Phoebe across the street. She said, I knew Tracy before Tracy was born. And I said, looked at her kind of funny, like, really? Great lady. I said, Tracy, why don't you leave and let us sit here and visit for a while? I want to find out a few things about Tracy Ringlesby.
Here's Cargo. Poor Phoebe. Two and 0. Cargo walked his first time up. 2 for 4 yesterday.
And you know
he
what?
had a double yesterday, too. His 50th extra base hit of the year.
I met some of our biggest fans up there, watch a lot of the ball games. The Geezer family, they're all going to be here on the 17th of August, coming to the ballpark. Looking forward to having them here.
Two-0 changeup, 2-1.
Those are the separators. Guys that have the ability to throw changeups, breaking balls, slow breaking balls behind in counts.
On the ground to Crawford, gets a good hop. 2 outs. 2 gone. Jordan Pacheco with an RBI single in the first. A soft line drive over Brandon Crawford's head.
Hot Dog Day's coming up, folks. It's the first 10,000 August 14th. Hebrew National giving away the $1 hot dog coupons. Make sure you get out here to that ball game to watch that and pick that up. The Brewers will be in town.
You have those marked back in March, don't you?
February. Big hot dog guy.
I know that. 2-strike count on Pacheco.
I'll tell you what, a pretty good slider he threw there. We haven't seen a lot of that out of Lincecum.
Wants fastball up. It was delivered in the right location, but it was high, so it's 1-2. And Pacheco lines this down the left field line. Double territory for Pacheco. Second hit of the ball game. Another multi-hit outing for Pacheco. It's his 21st multi-hit game.
Well, we said it all year. He plays hitter pretty good. There's that breaking ball, the slow curveball. Pacheco stayed right on it. See, look, he's gripping that ball a lot like a two-seam fastball, trying to rotate right over the top. And this is not a bad pitch. You're going to see where it ends up. See Sanchez starting to buckle to block it into the dirt. That's where he thought it was going to be. Instead, it's off the left field wall.
Tyler Colvin walked his first time. Well, Pacheco's hitting over 300. The last rookie third baseman in the game to hit over 300 was Kevin Seitzer of the Royals back in 1987. Pretty good baseball school in the Kansas City area now. Pacheco does not qualify yet. He doesn't have enough plate appearances. He's got to be 3.1 for every game played. But if he continues to play virtually every day, by the end of the season, he will qualify. 2-strike count on Colvin. Seitzer hit .323 that season. Another rookie third baseman. A couple others of note that hit over 300. Mad Dog, Bill Madlock hit .313 and 74 with the Cubs. 0-2. And it's fouled off. Richie Hebner hit .301 with the Pirates back in '69. More of a power spot. Wade Boggs obviously hit for average.
Did it? Wasn't his 3,000 hit a home run down the right field line in Tampa? Thought it was. Well, Wade Boggs just wore out the Green Monster. Just line drive after line drive off the Monster.
1-2 on Colvin, looking for a 2-out knock. Time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch, fast speed, and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. 95 for Chatwood, 93 for Lincecum. Worked himself back in the count. And this is punched to center field. Won't get down, though. Pagan comes on strong and catches it above the belt. Double by Pacheco. He's left at second. 2-1 off to the fourth.
Fourth inning here at Coors Field last night. Crazy rundown as EY Jr. got into a pickle in the game against the Giants. And I want you to watch this closely and take a look at his shoes, his spikes, because I said to him today, are you wearing different kind of cleats? And he said, yeah, I got these in San Diego. They're not even out yet. They're Nike Vapors. And Drew and George, when I look at them, they remind me of the old school kind of spot built, those kangaroo leather jobs that Oakland wore back in the 70s. And George, if I remember right, we usually have this conversation once a year. You wore ponies at one point, right?
Oh, I did. I wore ponies most of my career, switched over to little Mizuno later on. But that soft leather stuff, I mean, when you go in there and get it, oh, it is so nice. That was one of my first ones, a Wilson shoe that was that way when I was 16.
He said these Nike Vapors are really light. He likes them, and he likes the fact that they have an old school look, too.
Well, so. I bet they do, you know. And when I wore the Wilsons, we had leather bottoms. They were not plastic. It was leather. And they were comfortable. Leather kangaroos.
I remember the kangaroos. 0-1 misses. 1-1 on Marco Scutaro. 2-1. Toyota Talk coming your way in the 6th inning. You know the drill by now. Text Toyota to 720-720. Question for you today: what's your favorite Olympic sport in the summer? 3-1. Tyler coming off a strong inning in the 3rd. He got Cabrera on a comebacker, Posey on a routine ground ball to short, Hunter Pence on a ground ball to 3rd. And Marco Scutaro walks. 3rd walk allowed by Chatwood.
And because of the off day Thursday, Todd Helton's going to come in and have a little conversation with Chatwood about what's going on here. Make sure they know what they're doing on bump plays, where they're going. If you do, ball right at you, double play balls. But Helton more and more just a lot of encouragement right now about let's throw strikes and get after it. I mean, you're looking at an old wirely veteran there on first base coming out and giving you some advice. You listen.
Hector Sanchez bounced a single on a curveball through the right side.
Dead pull hitter. Just trying to stay out of the middle half end with him. Watch these front feet right here, to give you a good indication of what he's going to do. He wants the ball right in that area. They've set away twice. The count is even at 1-1.
Now the Pirates cooled off the Reds, at least for a day. They won 6-2 earlier.
Really? What do you got, a little smoothie working here? And you got the plantation hat on? You're good. Come on, Mike.
I know how hard those guys work. Mike,
look at this.
You're hurting your image.
Look, he's got the fan working down behind him. He's got it all going today. Why don't you just hit on lock off and just relax a little bit?
Pretty steady shot, though. 2-2.
Ooh, got tired. I understand. Would you like the guy next to you to get a fan, like fan you and everything?
Wow. That's a wild pitch. 3-2.
Rockies lead in wild pitches in Major League Baseball with 54, I think maybe 55. This is well inside. I think Escalante made it 55 last night. This may be 56. '59. I apologize. Doug corrected me, as he often does.
Three and two on Sanchez, and now another walk.
And the bullpen is up and busy. Carlos Torres seems to be the guy early today for the piggyback. In his last start in Tulsa, Chatwood walked 4 and had a couple of wild pitches in that ball game, and I'd like to see it stay away from that. A lot of confidence was being built with Tyler in those first 3 starts there. Not seeing it now. Brandon Coffred, a Arizona Fall League graduate that came to the big leagues. Bo's going to go visit a minute. Buy some time for Carlos Torres. Pitch count totals at 70. 36 balls, 34 strikes.
While they converse, we'll ask our AT&T trivia question. The Rockies have used 14 rookies this season. In fact, 5 in last night's ball game alone. What's the most rookies the Rockies have used in a season? It's the highest number. And that number generally rises when you hit September. Rosario and Rutledge, rookies in the lineup today, along with Pacheco. Chatwood on the hill, so 4 of the 9 are rookies. And the curveball's in there, strike 1 on Brandon Crawford. George was just talking about this. 37 out of the strike zone, the 71 pitches. That's not good.
You really got to have almost 66 to 70% strikes to have a chance up here. If you're not doing that, it's not going to work.
One ball, one strike on Crawford. That's a good looking pitch. Well located. Jammed him. Crawford 6 for his last 33 at the plate, with only 1 extra base hit. You know, it may catch people by surprise, George. Took the last few days off. I don't know if you guys discussed this, but the Giants, who are always near the bottom of the National League in runs scored, have the 2nd most prolific road offense in all of baseball this year.
Big difference this year, almost 3-run difference. This ball is going to be softly hit out to Dexter Fowler. Should be the first out. They will advance to 1st and 3rd for the sacrifice. Lincecum coming up. You know, you looked at home run average, what they're averaging at home per game, and then what they're averaging it out on the road, and it's a really difficult time because, quite honestly, this ball club, you know, you look at Jim Tracy's got to go. 76 pitches now, 1st and 3rd, even with the pitcher up Lincecum, he's going to go ahead and make the move here. Home games this year, they've hit 252 as a team and scored 180 runs. Out on the road, what a difference. 269, but where the difference shows up, and it's a big difference, 261 runs scored, 81 run difference out on the road than what they have in their own ballpark.
Yeah, and it computes, George, to an average of a little over 5 runs a game on the road. That's the best mark in the National League. So Torres in. Chatwood's afternoon done, 3 1/3. Big leagues did not go as he would like. It's a 2-1 ball game, but he walked 4. getting more balls than strikes. Unusual that he would come out even with the pitch count with the opposition pitcher coming up, but it's a young arm, 22 years of age, and he was in the mid-70s. So Jim Tracy is going to hand the baseball to Carlos Torres, who had been outstanding, George, to his last couple of outings.
Last couple of outings, they got after him. 5 runs given up in just two innings pitched. And some of this is not making the pitches that he was making earlier. And the other thing is, when you're going good, you hang sliders, they pop them up. You miss with a fastball, pop them up. But the one thing he's done a pretty good job of is throwing strikes and shutting down innings. And that's exactly what they're going to have him do here. They hope they can shut this inning down in a 2-1 ball game. I mean, eventually, Lincecum, you hope, would crumble what he's done in the past. Rockies had a chance in the first inning against Lincecum to have a big inning. Didn't happen.
Lincecum has shown bunt twice. Now, this is not a squeeze or safety squeeze. This is merely to get the runner Sanchez to second base.
Although last night they did do just that. They had the safety squeeze running. Had the guy at third come down equal to with what Pacheco was. And then when the ball got into fair territory, it came out, and he was coming. Francis gloved it, flipped it to Sanchez. They got the out at the plate.
Two and one. We're talking about most prolific road offenses in baseball. We failed to mention who's number one. Giants number one in the National League. The Angels are number one overall. 3 and 1.
See, and this is the danger you run into. And again, he's been very, very good. Carlos Torres has. That you can't afford to have a blow up with your piggyback guy. That's the one thing you can't have happen now. And it happened the other day. And that's what cost him in the first game here with the Giants.
This is going to score a run. It's chopped to short, and Crawford able to flip it to Herrera. Excuse me, Rutledge able to flip it to Herrera. And Tim Lincecum gets his 3rd RBI of the year. He didn't do this on purpose, but that looked like a slug bunt. Yep. Well executed, didn't it?
Very well executed.
Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam. This is a good play by Johnny Herrera. Last time Angel Pagan was in the play. Great throw to get Brandon Crawford at second base. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Pagan takes ball 1. Lincecum at first. 3-1 San Francisco. Giants have been playing well on the road of late. In addition to all those runs, 7 of their last 11 road games have been victories. And they're in the midst of playing a bunch on the road. 17 of their next 27. 3-1 Giants. Giants leading 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. AT&T trivia question. Rockies have used 14 rookies this season. What's the largest number of rookies ever used in a season by Colorado? 19 back in 2005. Pat yourself on the back if you had that one. How about the Giants today? They have 2 hits. Both of those hits came in the 2nd inning when they did not score. In the 2 innings that they've produced their 3 runs, they don't have a hit.
Been that kind of a day. 4 walks by Chatwood. Out of those walks, 2 of them have scored.
Rosario came up in the 1st inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs and hit a fly ball to right field. Rockies got 1 in the 1st, held a 2-out double, eventually scored on a Jordan Pacheco base hit. Rockies have 4 hits to the Giants 2. Lincecum's 1-0, curveball high, 2-0. Rosario through May 20th was hitting .203 with 6 home runs, 13 RBIs. Since then, he's moved the average up by hitting just under .260. And now he's headed for Frazier.
That was really hard.
Yeah, that, well, you know. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just looking around at her, see if there's any damage to it.
Two and two. That's fouled off.
I may have to get me a glove up there. That's getting a little close because the other one hit right down here in front.
Right down there.
Right in between this and that.
People ask all the time.
I wasn't quite ready for that.
You know, you guys get balls in here a lot, and I think there's been 2 in here. This is my 11th year. I think there's been 2, maybe 3 in here in those 11 years.
3 and 16 for me. I just, you know, you sit up here trying to catch a few balls. Dave Armstrong, who used to the games quite a while ago, he caught one. I thought he was going to die. I mean, he caught him in his hand. He had freaked out like, I got to have ice. I got to have everything else.
And ball 4, Rosario draws a walk. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Lincecum. It's been a problem for him at times this year also. The free passes. Jonathan Herrera will come up. We were talking about rookies in 2005. That was the class that started to build its way toward 2007, which culminated in a World Series, as we all know. Garrett Atkins came up in 05. Brad Hopp came up in 05. Clint Barmas in 05 had that great first month, then got hurt. Corey Sullivan, Omar Quintanilla, Jeff Francis, Ryan Spilborghs.
Is Quintanilla back in the big leagues with the Orioles?
He
was with the Mets, and I think he got traded to the Orioles.
I think he is, but we're double checking. Jeff Baker was on that team. Baker just got traded to the Tigers. So he went from the Cubs to the Tigers. It's a good pickup for Detroit.
Well, you hope so. It's a power bat that could do some damage for you. You could DH, do other things, give guys days off, play 3rd, 1st, play a little 2nd if you needed him to.
Hey, listen, you know, Detroit's about slugging because their infield doesn't move well. You got Prince, you got Johnny Peralta. They're in a 5-5 game in 10th with Cleveland. There's another base hit for Herrera. And Rosario is going to go first to 3rd. He better pick it up.
Curveball, he got out on the front foot, but got enough good wood on it to hit it into this outfield. And then now it's off to the races. Rosario goes hard into 2nd. Did a really wide turn. And shortened his steps up to make the slide at 3rd base.
Carlos Torres will be bunting here with Herrera at 1st, and He gets the bunt down. Lincecum throws it in the dirt, but the second baseman Terrio fields it. Sack 1-4. Fowler, an opportunity to tie the ball game or put the Rockies ahead, or excuse me, tie the game with a base hit. Had a 2-1, George, there for a second. I forgot the last run. 3-1. Looking to save energy and money? Find out how the little changes add up at TogetherWeSave.com, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative, delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more.
By the way, Quintanilla is with the Orioles since July 21st. He's hit .406.
And this ball's popped to left. Cabrera with Rosario running and out at the plate if Posey holds on. Yep, he did. Excuse me, with Sanchez at the plate. Hector Sanchez took a good shot. It's a double play that ends the inning, and the Rockies do not score. Good throw by Melky Cabrera, his 7th assist of the year. All legend, zero compromise. Ford Mustang, go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Comcast, advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. We can help grow your business. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com for details. Well, the Rockies had an opportunity to score, but Melky Cabrera on that fly ball by Dexter Fowler threw an absolute strike to Hector Sanchez, and Willeen Rosario was doubled up. 3-1 the score. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Ryan Terrio, Melky Cabrera, and Buster Posey. 2, 3, and 4 against Carlos Torres. Ball 1. Torres got the final couple of outs of the 4th inning. Tyler Chatwood goes 3 1/3. Gives up 3 runs, 1 earned. Just 2 hits allowed, 4 walks though, and a strikeout. This is well hit, but playable in right center field for Colvin. That'll bring up Cabrera, who's 0 for 2. How about Melky yesterday, George? 4 walks and a bomb.
4 walks, yeah, I won a career high on that side of it, but the bomb was pretty good. Hit a line drive left field.
It was 11th of the year. Melky became the 2nd player in baseball this year to have 4 walks in a game and also hit a home run. Can you name the other, George?
No.
Think of a big power hitter who does not hit for average but walks a lot. That's enough in terms of clues. big.
Why can't you give more clues than that? Why do you got to act? Why do you got to act like that? Come on, give up some more clues.
I'm giving you clues. I keep saying big.
What league?
American.
What team?
Former quarterback in college for a brief time.
Seth Smith?
Seth, come on now. Seth's not that big.
He was a quarterback.
Yeah, but I said
part-time.
big guy.
Come on, you said quarterback. Dunn never played.
He's quarterback at the University of Texas. There's a pretty good quarterback. On the ground, up the middle. Johnny, did he get enough on it? Not quite. A leg hit for Cabrera, who's now 16 hits shy of 1,000 in his career. Good effort by Johnny.
Really good effort. Couldn't get a grip on the ball as he's trying to get it out of the glove. So all he tried to do is flip it the best he could to get to Todd Helton. Herrera thinking, you know what? I get a grip on this thing. I know I got him.
Buster Posey 0 for 1 and a walk. Got 25 RBIs since the All-Star break, which is tied for the most in baseball with Albert Pujols. Pujols has caught fire. He hit another home run yesterday. He's got 24 now. He'd like to push the lead on the first 6-7 weeks of the season. Strike one on Buster.
You know who's 81 hits shy of his 2,500?
Todd Helton.
Yes, sir. You know, the other day they mentioned 9,000 at bats. They go, man, that's a lot. Kadire looked over his shoulder and said, no, that's Hall of Fame.
And a good pitch by Torres to strike out Posey.
Well, and you know what? I think sometimes everybody feels like when you got a Buster Posey at the plate, you after you get to 0-2, the problem has been in the past, do you attack him or do you make him chase? This is a knuckle curve that Torres throws in, and it's in an outstanding location.
Hunter Pence 0 for 2, though he did have a ribby with a ground out in the first inning. 2 for 19 so far in a Giant uniform. He needs some stickum on that bat. Giants have Pence under control for another year. He's got another arbitration eligible season. Another reason that his acquisition was appealing to Brian Sabian, Bruce Bochy, and the Giants.
They also signed Xavier Nady, who will start tonight at first base. Nady signed with Washington, was released recently. Bochy had him when he was in San Diego.
Battled a lot of injuries in his career. And you hope he can stay healthy. Former Cal product. 2 strikes the count on Hunter Pence. Runner going, and Rosario couldn't get it out of the glove. That's 12 stolen bases for Melky Cabrera.
Really big jump, because a lot of times too with Torres, he has a little bit of hesitation on the back side of it, of his delivery, so that bought a little time, and then it wasn't in a location. It made it easy for a transfer for Rosario. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 192. It got better.
Yep, down the line, Pence will double home Melky Cabrera. 4-1 San Francisco.
17th double of the year for Pence. I wanted to see where that ball was because his whole front side. Watch Pacheco's reaction here as he starts to make the jump for that. Just missed the baseball. I want to see where this was. If it stayed to the inner half of the plate. Look how fast everything buckles and pulls off of him. Every single part of his body is telling you he can't hit a ball away. But if you leave it in the middle of the plate, he does a little damage, and that's exactly what he did.
Fastball in at 93, and it's 2-0 on Scudero. Scudero walked his last time up and would score. Center field, Dexter will glide back and make the catch against his former teammate. In the inning, a couple of hits and another run for the Giants. They have a 4-1 advantage, middle of 5. Cell Energy high efficiency inning. We go back to the 3rd inning. Tyler Chatwood's best inning. Cabrera, comebacker. Buster Posey would follow with a ground ball to short. And Hunter Pence would hit the ball on the ground to 3rd. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Rockies down by 3 runs. They have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Josh Rutledge takes a curveball for strike 1. Strikeout and a line drive to left for Rutledge. Hilton and Gonzalez to follow. And Rutledge takes inside 1-1. I don't know if we've seen this shot before. The clock tower at 20th and Blake.
Gorgeous shot of downtown, period.
Yeah, inside out view. Coming up on 3 in the afternoon local. Ground ball on one big hop to Scudero. Well, Helton's hit the ball better than anybody today. He has a double to deep right center and a line shot to center field that was caught by Angel Pagan. 1 for 2 for Todd. The double was his 570th of his career. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets. Do it today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Hilton's battled back problems for several years, as you well know. And now it's a hip that has been bothering him. Put him on the disabled list recently. .359 career average in the month of August, second best ever.
What's that guy's name that's right there with him?
Lou Gehrig hit
Oh,
359.
that guy. Yeah, that guy. Okay.
In August. Guy on here, George, Matt Diaz, 355 in August in his career. Must have been a lot of lefties on the hill.
Absolutely.
Been there 2 and 2. He's always eating up lefty. And Rusty Greer, the former Ranger. Rusty Greer was just up at a baseball tournament in Steamboat. Rusty Greer had a team up there.
Well, Rusty does an awful lot of that, traveling around now teaching. Rusty had started actually a deer farm down in Texas, and now is also coaching an awful lot.
He's combined with
in
Bobby
Texas.
Witt.
Yep.
Outside, 3 and 2 on top. That's vintage Todd Helton swing. You know what? This I don't want to put in play, but I'm not sure if it's going to be called a strike, and I'll just kind of block it foul.
Exactly. Tilt the bat and see who you can pick off in the dugout.
And a good at bat for Helton again. He'll drop the one and walk to first. 1 out, 1 on for Carlos Gonzalez. Again, the Rockies trailing 4-1, despite the fact that they've out-hit the Giants 5-4.
Now Bochy trying to nurse him through this 5th inning, then that could be it. 87 pitches right now. He's lived dangerously throughout this whole game.
4 walks allowed. Cargo a walk himself in the first, and then a 2-hopper to short.
Now Bochy talking about games here, how they get away from you so fast. And he said, you know, you just got to prepare for it.
Started him out with a changeup in the last at bat for a strike, and he got the changeup over there. And he went back-to-back changeups, and it's 0-2. This is where Lincecum's at his best, when you can locate that changeup. One of the best in the game. And he got him on a curveball. That's vintage Tim Lincecum.
I haven't seen that all day.
No, we haven't. That's just his second strikeout. Lincecum normally loads up on the punch outs when the strikeout per inning pitched.
Yeah, he really backed off this thing, turned it over, rotated, and got the spin he was wanting. But what set this breaking ball up was the 2 changeups.
Pacheco a single and a double. Single drove in a run in the first. And it's on the ground. The third. Scudero will go the convenient way. And that's all for the Rockies in the 5th inning. Giants 4, Colorado 1. Back to Coors Field in a moment.
Field, a 4-1 lead for the Giants over the Rockies. Carlos Torres on the hill, kind of piggybacking here today. Tyler Chatwood got the start. Torres is an interesting guy. We haven't talked a lot about him over the course of the year, but he went to San Jose State. Then he ended up going to K-State, pitched there, was drafted by the White Sox. Last year, actually, pitched in Japan, and I asked him, how did you get to Colorado? And he told me, my daughter was living in Colorado with her mom in Lone Tree, so he called the Rockies up. Rockies gave him a tryout. He came to Coors Field, pitched here underneath in the cages. They said, yeah, got the invite, made the team. Daughter doesn't live in here anymore. They moved to Kansas City, but Torres enjoying a little bit of success with the Rockies. True, George?
Well, it's a great break for him. I mean, he was a late sign in spring training. It was not somebody who was on the radar in January. It was somebody who popped up in early February. Good for him.
Hector Sanchez at the plate, a single and a walk. Sanchez doing the catching today while Posey plays first, and that's popped up third base line. Jordan Pacheco is not going to have room.
Gale in New Mexico asking what's going to happen to Rutledge when Tulo comes back. He'll move over to second. Rutledge has played about 20 games at second base in Tulsa. He has worked with Dave Hadjic exclusively on different ways to be able to turn a double play at second. All the injuries, talking about the healthy ones, wrap them up in some bubble wrap. Boy, that's really going to help Tampa if Longoria comes back Tuesday off that hamstring.
There's a single to center field for Sanchez. Curling.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that?
I haven't. It's a winter sport, though. And basketball may be my least favorite Olympic sport because we watch the NBA and college basketball a year. Personally, I prefer the sports you don't get to see much. And I don't need to see LeBron and the United States beat Nigeria by 83. Though they had a tough game the other day against Lithuania. Gotta love swimming, especially this go round. And the exploits of one Missy Franklin from right down the road. Congratulations to Missy. 4 gold medals, 5 in all. She won a bronze also. Crawford takes outside, 1-1 on Brandon Crawford. Jose Reyes with a 24-game hitting streak for the Marlins. Pitch by Torres, 1-2. U.S. women's soccer team. Abby Wamba. Johnny in Colorado Springs. It's a strikeout wild pitch which allows Sanchez to move up. 60 wild pitches now. Here's Lincecum. Yeah, beach volleyball's big venue. Well, for those who are disappointed that baseball's not an Olympic sport anymore, I concur. The World Baseball Classic will come your way next March. rod to Rutledge. George question, does the 75 pitch limit affect pitchers' morale when they know they're limited? Chris in Nebraska wants to know.
Well, you know, it those strikes and it won't do anything to morale, but I think you are looking over his shoulder. When you walk a couple of guys, you start thinking about, uh-oh, I got to keep this thing under, work deeper in the ball games. Yeah, I think it affects you a little bit with the pitchers. I think it also affects the ball club. Like the other day, Sanchez, 38 pitches in the first inning, standing back on your heels. I just think there's some things in this that's obviously got to be ironed out of it.
Well, and I think probably the question also along the lines of it reduces the possibility and therefore the probability that a starting pitcher can get a victory if they're somewhere in that neighborhood of pitches.
What you're going to run into too is agents are going to get disappointed because of the number of different types, I guess, of performance bonuses that are in a lot of the contract.
Angel Pagan with 2 outs. Hector Sanchez at second. Dexter Fowler will get another opportunity. Second time he's caught a fly ball off the bat of Angel Pagan. Sanchez left at second base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Giants 4 and the Rockies 1. Cooney Lexus look back. Giants got 2 runs in the first inning without the benefit of a hit. Hunter Pence at the plate. We had a fastball. That scored at the first, and then Pence on a ground ball to second. Johnny Guerrero would get the out at first. With the infield back, another run scored. Again, 2 runs, no hits. And then Pacheco would get a run back at the bottom of the first, singling in Todd Helton, who had doubled. Giants would get another run in the third without the benefit of a hit. And then Tim Lincecum just clobbered this ball to short, and that scored a run. So nothing real sexy in the way San Francisco has scored today. That's with a double that brought home a run. That's as fancy as it got. Melky Cabrera scoring. 4-1 Giants. Lincecum still out there, and it'll be Tyler Colvin, Willeen Rosario, and Jonathan Herrera. And though Lincecum has walked some guys, George, 4 to be exact, and he's given up 5 hits. That's not an inordinate amount. He's given up just 1 run, and that is the bottom line.
Absolutely. I mean, he's made pitches when he needs to make pitches to get out of situations, and he's done that. Matt Pelayo warming up down in the bullpen for the Rockies. Torres has gone 2 2/3 right now, and it's getting ready to be the 7th inning. Spend at least $25 in one transaction at King Soopers, and you can buy up to 4 tickets for $14 each. Available for select games only, so check at King Soopers.
1 out, Willeen Rosario at the plate. 0 for 1 and a walk for Willeen. 2-0. George, what are you doing?
Watching a hard ball game.
Two balls and a strike. That's a lot of cookies. Three balls and a strike. Next pitch will be number 99 for Lincecum. That's a strike. Lincecum, 9th and 10th on the all-time Giants single-season strikeout total list. How many times, George, do you think Lincecum's won 20 games?
Twice.
That's a reasonable guess for a two-time Cy Young winner and a four-time All-Star. He walks Rosario again. And that'll bring up Jonathan Herrera. How about he's never won 20 games? In his two Cy Young years, he went 18-5 and 15-7.
What was the earned run average over that time?
Well, the 08 year 262, the 09 year 248. Johnny's 2 for 2, 2 singles. Matt McBride's come out in the on-deck circle. Made his major league debut last night, going 2 for 4, single and a double. Got his first ribby out of the way. On the outside corner, good pitch. Who Wants Tacos fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies do score 7 in a game for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Strike 3 on Herrera. And McBride will be called back with 2 outs. And it'll be Eric Young Jr.
If Johnny would have got on base, now you've got power coming to the plate with McBride. So that's why you would have sent him up there. Not in the strike zone, off the plate. That's the number 3 there on your Ford strike zone, but called a strike by Jeff Nelson.
Nice piece in the paper today on Junior and his commitment to proper nutrition and his workouts. He was saying it has more to do with just performance level as an athlete. It has to do with wanting to be around for a long period of time. Junior regularly rides his bike to and from Coors Field. And he hits this on one hop to Terrio. Lincecum gets through the 6th inning unharmed, 4-1 San Francisco. Advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com for details. Not a lot of hits. The Giants have scored a boatload of runs in this series. They have just 4 today, but the Rockies have been held to 1 run through 6 innings by Tim Lincecum. And Tim Lincecum over 100 pitches, shaking hands with his teammates. That's another solid performance from Lincecum. In his last outing, he beat the Mets. So starting to return to form. He was very close, George, to losing his spot. This is unbelievable even to say it. He was very close to losing his spot in the rotation as you look at Matt Belisle a few starts ago, and then he went out and threw 8 shutout innings against Houston. Well, that was on July the 14th. They were seriously talking about moving him to the bullpen.
2-1, 148 when they were 248 earned run average last 3 starts. That convinced to make some changes to do what they needed to do. Foul ball down the right field line. He really struggled. He had really struggled with command of any pitch. I mean, he was kind of a lost guy, and they wanted to send him down, kind of like what the Rockies did with Rex Brothers. Send him down in a no pressure, just go throw, get your delivery right, come back out of it.
Yeah, but this is Tim Lincecum, man. This doesn't happen to 2-time Cy Young Award winners and a perennial All-Star. Belisle misses there. Terrio with a 2-1 count. Ryan's 0 for 3. Did reach on an error by Pacheco in the first and would later score. Cabrera and Posey will follow, and this is a base hit up the middle. Torres goes 2 1/3. And he allows a run on 3 hits. Struck out 2. Didn't walk anybody. Chatwood went 3 1/3. Gave up 3 runs, only 1 of which was earned. Couple hits, 4 walks, and a strikeout. Melky Cabrera leg hit his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Brought a .352 average into the ball game. Melky second in the league in hitting to Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen started the day at .369. He has maintained that average right around .370. You may recall he was hitting right about .370 when he came to Coors Field, and he actually moved the average up. Pacheco reaches, and the return throw from Herrera to Helton not in time. So Cabrera swaps spots with Terrio. 1 out. Posey coming up.
Well, off this tough play, I mean, he gets a hold of the ball, gets it over to Johnny. Johnny had a good feed on it, but I thought with Pacheco, he didn't get the good grip on the baseball. So he couldn't fire that zip throw onto first base.
Posey fouls it off. I said Torres 2 1/3. It was actually 2 2/3. Posey came into the ball game at .325. He's 0 for 2. He was a point behind Cargo in the batting race. Cargo .326 coming in. Cargo is 0 for 2 and a walk. Both those guys neck and neck in on base percentage too, right around the .390 mark. The great thing about Posey is it's not a reach putting him at first base. He can defend that position, and this way Bruce Bochy keeps the bat in the lineup on the days where he wants to give the legs a break. This is going to tail out of play. .340 career average, by the way, for Posey against the Rockies. So popular at Florida State, they wrote a song about him. They do that for you at OU?
No, I'm getting ready to say, does Manning have that at Tennessee? Did they do one for him? This is how big this guy is. Florida State. Peyton's still enjoying a ball game with Jim Kellogg, who works for the Rockies.
Peyton across the street in front of 42,000, basically. Was it 41, 42,000 yesterday? Showed up for practice.
He aired one
That's
out.
awesome.
Aired one out about 50 yards too, just to get him excited.
Yeah. Then he later on the third drive hooked up with Eric Decker, a little back shoulder fade for a touchdown. Seen him in practice a bunch, George, the last 10 days. He looks a whole lot like that guy that played for the Colts for all those years.
Same number, same hair
number,
and everything.
yeah, yeah. And that's a base hit for Posey the other way. Cabrera goes to second, and Hunter Pence will come up. You know, we have to ask Peyton this, George. Never asked him this. I don't know if you have. What kind of baseball player he was.
Actually, about 10 years ago, maybe 11. He came in town and took some batting practice, threw the ball around a little bit in the infield. Had a good arm at short. Tell you that.
Oh, really?
Had a really good arm at short.
That's surprising.
Yeah. Very accurate arm, too.
Also surprising. Pence has 2 RBIs. RBI double in the 5th inning. He had the RBI ground out in the 1st.
Well, remember, they scored, Drew talked about this, 3 runs in the game without a hit. The walks and errors. So San Francisco today is 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position as you enter here in the top of the 7th inning. And
think about this. Coming in to the game in their previous 2 games, Friday and Saturday night at the series, they were 16 for 35, a .457 average. This ball is tagged to deep right, and it is off the wall. Cabrera is going to score, and stopping at third base is Posey. A 3 RBI ball game for Hunter Pence, easily now his best ball game in a Giant uniform.
Well, that's
it's
why they went out to
5-1.
get him. That's why they went out to get him.
Second double of the day for Pence.
And this ball was down away, but it tells you close eyes, swing hard, make contact, something good's going to happen, because that wasn't a bad pitch from Belial. It was swung hard, but off the front of the auxiliary scoreboard. They get the ball back in, but not in time. Second, third, infield's in with 1 out.
Scudero's 0 for 2 and a walk. Marco's been playing third while Kung Fu Panda tries to heal up that hamstring. He started baseball activities. He's due to come off on Tuesday. I don't know if that will be possible just yet. He's probably still a few more days away. Mentioned the runners in scoring position. 2 for 13 now today. The whole point of that, 16 for 35 the first 2 days. 48 at bats with runners in scoring position in 2.5 ball games.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Think about that, folks. 48 at bats with at least a runner at second base for the Giants in 25 innings. Not even 25 complete innings. 1 out here, and that's fouled off. 1 out in the 7th inning. Second and third. Scudero looking at a 2-2 count against Matt Belial. Boy, that's the second time Flannery's had to hit the deck in a hurry on the third base coaching line. The singing third base coach, Tim Flannery.
Yeah, he did a really nice deal the other day with some members of the Grateful Dead. Did a concert where they raised money for the young man that had been beaten at Dodger Stadium. Brian Stone, the young patron, unfortunately. S-T-O-W. Brian Stowe was the young man outside of Dodger Stadium. But Flannery got together with some other musicians and raised $60,000 for him.
That's terrific. Here's a 2-2. And the fastball misses 3-2. Sanchez on deck. If Matt were to lose Scudero, he would set up a force all the way around with a below average runner. Center field, and it's going to drop in front of Dexter, and he kicks behind him for a moment. 2 runs are going to score. Scudero ends up at second base. And now the Giants have opened up a 7-1 lead.
Well, the 2 acquisitions have done a pretty good job in this series for the San Francisco Giants, meaning Hunter Pence and now Marco Scudero. Fastball he's going to fight off and hit out to right field. Everybody's going to watch the flight of the ball. When it hits short of Dexter, you'll see this. It's going to hit a little bit short. And Dexter's going to try to keep the baseball out in front of him, but it kicked away when he swiped at it. All that is on Mike Shaw Supermo.
And they'll score a 2-run double. So Scudero picks up a couple of ribbies. 3 in the inning for the Giants. They have 4 hits against Belisle in the 7th. Bo McLaughlin will walk off. Hector Sanchez will come up. Single walk and a single for Sanchez. Curveball in there for a strike on Sanchez. My man Contos in the bullpen for the Giants, George, found a wee bit of shade.
Hey, this is mild. It's 91 degrees here. I mean, this is when Chatwood told me today when he walked into the ballpark. He said, I feel like I'm sitting on a mountain stream. Boy, that jam. Play should be made by Rutledge. It will be. 2 outs. At Tulsa, he started the other day. It was 114.
Was it 114?
It's been averaging between 110 and 114 in Tulsa every day.
Aren't you glad you're here in Denver?
Yep, I am very glad. Now, unfortunately, your air conditioner bill is going to be a little high for the month of July and August in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
How about the guys? Look at them. Are they thinking their way through this thing?
Evidently they are. Brian needs a little bigger umbrella to cover his dome.
Surprised they haven't built the cover yet. You know, that goes like up, over, down for all the hot weather, bad weather. I know Roger'd like one.
Crawford takes a strike. It's 0-2. Belisle strikes out Crawford. That ends the inning. Giants get 3 runs on 4 hits in the inning, and they've opened up a 7-1 lead. It is Sunday. We'll stick around for a rendition of God Bless America.
Fans, please direct your attention to the field for a special recognition. Joining us today as an invited guest of the Colorado Rockies is Staff Sergeant Mitchell L. Howard. Staff Sergeant Howard from Hamilton, Montana is joined on field today by his wife Susanna. Staff Sergeant Howard serves in the United States Army and is stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado. Fans, please give a warm Coors Field Heroes welcome to Staff Sergeant Howard and all of our nation's brave men and women, as well as the families of our heroes. Thank you for your service and sacrifice to our great nation. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Staff Sergeant Chris Hamill. Please welcome Staff Sergeant Hamill and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
Back at Coors Field, 7-1, bottom 7. Dexter Fowler leading off. Hasn't been the best of years for the Rockies. He's been a bright spot. Jim Tracy talked about number 24 today.
I personally feel that Dexter Fowler's self-confidence level from where we began in the early part of this season to where we're at right now, Dexter Fowler has moved a few notches in his own mind and in his own right. I think Dexter Fowler knows that he has arrived as a major league player.
Hard to disagree with that. Hitting .291. He's been near .300 most of the years, guys, and he's hit up and down the lineup and doing his job in center field too. Drew and George?
Yeah, you know what? As miserable as this year has been in terms of wins and losses and the inability of the starting rotation to produce outs, it has obscured, and I've said this before, George, some good that has taken place. The emergence of Dexter Fowler, what Josh Rutledge has done at shortstop.
Pacheco at third.
Pacheco hitting over 300. Now, Willeen Rosario has a lot to clean up in terms of catching. He does have 18 home runs, though.
Right.
George Contos is in relief of Tim Lincecum. Lincecum went 6 innings and allowed a run on 5 hits. So Contos out there for the 21st time. And like most Giants, got that small ERA.
Small ERA, but 4 straight balls doesn't please anyone. To a 201 earned run average over 22 in the 3rd innings. Try to work on Rutledge here. Fastball will be 88 to 91, 92 occasionally. Has a very good slider. He worked in this series in the previous ball games when he came in and was able to work an inning on the opening night, 2/3 of an inning actually. Got a strikeout, got Vogelsong out of a mess, and they went on to win. One of those guys that very important to your ball club, very important to your bullpen. You don't get a lot of headlines, you get a lot of attaboys and pat on the back for a job well done.
7-1 Giants. Rutledge takes high, 2-0, so he's not throwing a strike yet.
No, and Righetti's like, you know what, I watched enough of this, time out. Rag's going to make a trip out to the mound to have a little conversation with him. I can hear Rags now. He does some famous impersonations, but walking out there, what are you doing? What's wrong? Became a very, very accomplished pitching coach.
I thought Righetti was wearing a different number. He gave up his number to Marco Scudero.
Yep, sure did. And, you know, Rag's all about the team thing and anything but a number. Wore 19 for a long time with the Yankees throughout his career in San Francisco. But you know what? You want to wear 19, you can have 19.
Charged him $100 grand, though.
You're a player.
No, he didn't. Making that up, George.
Yes, I figured that. Like, I would say that number's not worth a whole lot of number either.
3-0 on Rutledge.
Just what Boats was talking about before the game. He said, I've managed so many games in this ballpark. It's just as soon as you feel comfortable, they're right back in your lap again.
Three and 1 on Rutledge. And ball 4, back-to-back walks. Who was it, George? You see that Contos is wearing number 70, which is a telltale sign during spring training. It's a guy who's, yeah, that's it. It's a guy that's a non-roster invitee or up from minor league camp, number 70. But there's been a couple pitchers through the years that, almost as a reminder of their roots, have kept that high number once they became established big leaguers.
Oh, they have. Well, how about Barry Zito, 75? There's a guy for you right there. He kept it for a long, long time.
Now George Contos leaves without throwing a strike.
Yeah, Arias on the double switch at third.
7-1 Giants. Nobody out. Back-to-back walks of Fowler and Rutledge. 6-run lead for the Giants. The Rockies in this series, as that's on the outside corner for a strike, have produced runs from the 7th inning on. In fact, their last 3 games, going back to the final game the Rockies played against the Cardinals, they've scored 9 runs in the 7th inning or later. They will need that kind of production today, and then some. One and one on Todd. 1-2. This was once the control issues, even with the 6-run lead, cropped up for Contos. This was a no-brainer for Bruce Bochy. He mentioned Todd's 1 for 8. Cargo 2 for 13 against Lopez. Strike 3.
Well, I just got out after the other night. You saw some balls in different areas. This just painted right on the outside corner. Received a little bit off of the plate, and that's why Todd had the ugly look on the face, thinking it wasn't a strike. As this ball approached the plate, coming in on that outside corner, helping watching it all the way in.
So Cargo with 2 on and 1 out. Again, 2 for 13 against Lopez. One of the 2 was a home run. And that pitch was in the hittable zone, a slider that was belt high.
Last night against Lopez, in the 9th inning, he struck out.
One of those matchups, George, where if you're Cargo, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get that sweeper.
Well, he's gotten it twice. One of them hung. That's why he's able to pull it. I'm anxious to see now if Sanchez goes fastball away on the knees like he did on Helton, that outside corner at 87 miles an hour, or if he sticks to the slider plan.
0-2. Well, he went with the heater, trying to get the outside corner, reach back for a little bit more at 90.
Yeah, and you don't see it that often from him. You don't see him reach out for 90. Elevated his arm a little bit higher on Helton. He stayed down in the low 3/4 range.
Fowler a walk, Rutledge a walk. Cargo's 0 for 2. He walked back in the 1st inning against Lincecum. And a base hit to center field. Fowler around 3rd will score the Rockies' 2nd run. So Dexter with his scoring on Cargo's 73rd RBI of the year. Did a nice job with that at bat, George.
Finally got one he can handle. Watch this breaking ball stay right out over the plate. Even though the back leg kicked out, the front side stayed still. And the hands really covered a lot of plate. Nice job, Cargo.
Jordan Pacheco at the plate. Rutledge with the good wheels at 2nd. Cargo obviously runs well at 1st. 1-0. The Rockies did the last 2 days, George. They tried to find their way back into ballgame, but unfortunately the bullpen then would let the Giants.
Yep, let it creep right back on top of you again. They just piled it on the last couple of games. Matt Reynolds is warming up down in the Rockies bullpen now for Belial.
Javier Lopez trying to clean up Conto's mess after he walked 2 in a row and he's given up a hit. Romo, the right-hander, I'm sure that he's not far from being in this ball game. Last night had to come in and have a shutdown inning. He was able to get Rosario to pop up to end the inning, and then any threat of getting back into the game.
And a 4-pitch walk to Pacheco has loaded the bases for Colvin. You would assume this will be the last hitter that Lopez is allowed to face, because then you get Willian Rosario. Johnny Herrera is a switch hitter. Rockies have 3 bats available from the right side on their bench. And Matt McBride's going to pinch hit for Colvin. And Bochy will counter. For a manager, it's not as if Jim Tracy didn't think that Bochy would counter. It's okay, which matchup do I like better? Lopez against Colvin or Matt McBride against Sergio Romo?
Well, that is part of it. Plus the other side, you know, by Jim sending up McBride, you get rid of the better, pretty good left-hander out of there when he's trying to shut an inning down. And you might force the issue into getting into the other left-hander, which is Jeremy Affeldt, because the right side of their bullpen has struggled a little bit. Look for a lot of sliders there, Mr. McBride. That's what you're going to get to your son. There's George, his father.
Roll to the plate, his 5th big league at bat. Last night in his 2nd at bat, he got his first big league hit. With his dad George looking on. Single and a double, and an RBI for Matt McBride in his major league debut. Matt was having an unbelievable year in AAA Colorado Springs. Hitting above 350. 10 home runs, 75 RBIs. He's got an opportunity to drive in some more right here against Sergio Romo. Bases loaded.
That's what you're going to get. Slider, slider, slider. We mentioned this on last night's telecast. 42 ball games, 32 2/3. Right-handed specialist with a nasty slider, a lot like Larry Anderson was in the latter part of his career. He will show fastball, but it's mostly going to be sliders.
Oh, 2. Romo in 20 road games this year has allowed just 1 run. It's the work of McBride last night. Bases full of Rockies, a run in the 7th. It's 7-2 Giants. Rutledge at third, Cargo at second, Pacheco at first. He reached out and fouled that slider off. Said Matt at 75 RBIs, actually 77 to be precise. Colorado Springs with a 354 average. In one of the areas, and it's going to help him out, George, down the road. You want to be as versatile as you can. He has really cleaned up his catching. Say he's improved dramatically from what we saw a little bit in spring training. So he can play several different spots. Helps when you can catch. Strike 3.
Arm angle and late movement. Tough to pick up. Romo gets the strikeout. Look out of the Mike Shaw. Big grip bend and turn, and look at the pressure on that arm, and then snap. You see him start to offer to the ball, thinking it's going to be a fastball on the inner half with the way he put up his arm. Turns out slider.
So Rosario 0 for 1 and a pair of walks. Second time he's hit with the bases loaded in this game. In his first at bat, he had a fly ball to Hunter Pence in right. You know, the movement, George, Rosario kind of has a little bit of a bucket movement anyhow with that front side. But don't you have to go up there looking for slider?
Yeah, that's all he throws. He might throw you one fastball. If he does, it's going to be up. That's what he does. Guys with plus command of a fastball, he has plus command of his slider.
Two on Rosario, who has struggled in his rookie year, as so many do, handling the breaking pitch. He left that in the middle of the plate, but he gets the strikeout. So Romo comes on, strikes out McBride and Rosario with the bases loaded. And he celebrates, leaving the mound. 7-2 Giants. Giants leading 7-2. They've out-hit the Rockies 9-6. Want the latest updates from Root Sports? Text alert to 720-720. Receive text message updates from Root Sports throughout the season. Matt McBride stays in the ball game. Colvin is the gentleman he hit for, so it makes sense. He stays in right field. Matt Reynolds, 51st time Reynolds is in a ball game. He'll take over here in the 8th inning. Joaquim Arias will get his first at bat. He'll lead things off against Reynolds, then Angel Pagan and Ryan Theriot.
When you have a game like Reynolds had a couple of nights ago, you want to get back out as fast as you can. Make pitches, make a better confidence move for yourself.
And the first pitch at 87, a strike on Arias. Gave up 6 runs, 5 earned the other day, and he's going to give up a single here. Pagan is 0 for 3 and a walk. And that misses, ball 1. The 6 runs he allowed in that 1 inning, a career high. I've been in a good place prior. This is oblique to shallow center, and Dexter with the good speed makes the play. Good job by Rosario. He was in the right place. Got to back that up. So with 1 out, Ryan Theriot will come up. Ryan's 1 for 4. Rockies bullpen have the best ERA of the season in the month of July, and they're getting a ton of work. 371. And they got it picked off. 1-3-6. It's a caught stealing on Arias.
I just like the fact maybe get yourself to have a clean inning. If you're Matt Reynolds, after the base hit, you pick it off, you go up and down, 1, 2, 3, finish this inning off.
One and 1 on Theriot. No, the month of August, or excuse me, the month of July, the Rockies bullpen ERA was 371. Best it's been all year. But so far in August, they have an ERA over 10. It's going to go up today. Matt Belisle giving up 3 runs last inning. Torres gave up a run in 2 2/3. Chatwood got the start. He's got the hook. He went just 3 1/3. 3 runs, 1 earned, couple of hits. Walk 4, struck out 1. Tim Lincecum is on the plus side. Lincecum 6 innings, allowed a run on 5 hits. Walked 4, struck out 3. Lincecum came into the ball game 5 and 11. Seventeenth time the Rockies have picked a runner off. That leads the National League. Here's the 3-2, and Theriot hits a bouncer to Johnny Herrera. He pats his glove, fires to Hilton, and it turns into a 1-2-3 inning despite the base hit by Arias. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Giants by 5. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Johnny Herrera at the plate against Sergio Romo. He takes ball one. DJ LeMahieu's come out on deck. Two and oh. Johnny taking a strike. And Johnny pops it up to right field. Hunter Pence has got it, one out.
The 2012 Hal O'Leary Dinner is September the 16th. These awards honor inspirational individuals with disabilities. Call to find out about purchasing seats today. You can call 303-312-2237 or go to coloradorockies.com/Year of the Fan.
So the home plate umpire, Jeff Nelson, fixing his scorecard. LeMahieu to pinch hit with one out and nobody on. Third opportunity to pinch hit for LeMahieu. Oh and 1. In fact, he had a ribby last night as a pinch hitter. With the straight one, and it's in there for a strike.
88-90. I mean, that's what it is. It's a hard fastball, good slider. When he gets ahead in the count, you can almost just bet the bank you're going to see a slider out of it.
Two and two on DJ LeMahieu. Two outs. Get that hitter out on that front foot just slightly with that slider, and it's a rollover ground ball. Dexter's coming up 0 for 3 and a walk.
Very similar to the sinker away to left-handers. Trying to accomplish the same thing. DJ trying to extend those arms out. You reach for it, and it makes it pretty easy to get the outs. But it's all about the impeccable control that Romo has with the slider and the fastball.
Now this is the second lefty he's faced. Herrera being the first. Rockies going to LA to take on the Dodgers. Dodgers just took a 4-2 sixth inning lead against the Cubs. Padres leading the Mets in the 8th 6-3. Quentin's hit his 11th. Yonder Alonso his 6th, and Chase Headley is 15th, George. He's producing some pop this year, huh?
Pittsburgh over Cincinnati 6-2. That'll help gain a game back. Arizona losing to Philly, lost to Philly 5-4.
Again, the Dodgers trying to upgrade offensively. They've pitched well. They always seem to.
Got a great park to do it in, just like the Giants and then San Diego when things are going their way.
A couple lefties tomorrow. It'll be Pomerantz for the Rockies against Capuano. Has had a very nice year for LA. .30 on Dex. That's in there, 3-1. You mentioned the Pirates beating the Reds 6-2. That was A.J. Burnett improving to 14-3. Andrew McCutchen is 23rd. Neil Walker is 12th. Drew Stubbs is 14th in the rare loss for Cincinnati. That's a fair ball. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning for Sergio Romo. Giants up by 5 as we go to the 9th. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by StubHub. Hey, fans, want to be here in person the next time your Rockies take the field? Just head to StubHub and choose your tickets today. 7-2 San Francisco, top of the 9th inning. Let's go to center field, check in with Joel Klatt. Hey, Joel.
What's going on, Drew? Hey, I'm all freaked out, but Tim Lincecum wasn't. After that first inning, threw 30-plus pitches. He settled down nicely, only gave up the 1 run. We'll talk about his outing. Plus, bad history for the Rockies. They're about to do something that no Rockies team has ever done in this franchise's history. So we'll tell you about that on the Toyota postgame show. Plus, Jim Tracy, that's coming up after the game, Drew.
All right, Joel, we appreciate it. Here in the 9th inning, guy just got recalled to the big leagues again, Edgmer Escalona.
Worked an inning last night, 4 hits, 4 runs. He walked a batter in last night's outing. It was not the way you'd like to see it happen. 7 strikeouts, though. And had worked as a setup role at the AAA level. Now he'll go back at it again here, trying to just get through the 9th inning and command it. He'll start out with Cabrera, Posey.
And he's got the thick part of the lineup, Cabrera, Posey, and Pence. And this ball unloaded to the gap in right center field. 1 hop off the wall. Fowler is going to fire it in. Cabrera is safe at third with a triple. Another multi-hit ball game for Melky Cabrera. 10th triple of the year. Chasing down Dexter Fowler in that department.
93-mile-an-hour fastball down in the strike zone. And this one had some giddy up on it into right center field by Cabrera, and he just outran everything. You wonder why Posey has so many RBIs at 68. Well, you got this guy doing that. Pacheco got eat up with that one.
make it 8-2 as Posey drives in Melky Cabrera.
One hop line drive. I'm not sure Pacheco ever even saw the baseball. Now the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo will give a pretty good look at this. That ball squared up. A belt tie. Posey sitting there on that baseball, a base hit. I mean, it is off to the right of him, and maybe hit right at him. Maybe he's got a shot at it. I'm not sure. That ball was hit extremely hard, as was Cabrera's. Pitch to Cabrera, not that bad, down in the strike zone. Facing one of the better hitters in the National League, though.
Giants have scored in 5 different innings. They now have 35 runs in 3 ball games here. This is a team that has hit double figures in the first 2 games of this series, and a reminder that they'd hit double figures in a game just twice all year till Friday night. And they got an opportunity. They have an opportunity to do that again here. Eight runs, 12 hits. The Rockies just a couple of runs on 6 hits. And Pence is gone. First out of the inning. Pinch hitter in the pitcher spot will be Brandon Belt. Belt's 9 for 28 his last 8 ball games. One for 2 in the series. Oh, and 2. American League in the 7th inning, the Blue Jays leading the A's 6-4. Edwin Encarnacion, 29 home runs. Reddick hit his 24th for Oakland. Cargo waiting for the baseball, makes the catch. 2 outs. That'll bring up Hector Sanchez. Tigers in 10 beat the Indians 10-8. Miguel Cabrera hit his 27th, the most notable home run there. Yankees over the Mariners 6-3. Raul Ibanez his 15th. Red Sox beat the Twins 6-4. Adrian Gonzalez his 11th. How about Josh Willingham for the Twins? 28 home runs. Orioles in 10 innings beat the Rays 1-0. Jim Johnson his 32nd save. White Sox over the Angels 4-2 in Chicago. Brzezinski at his 21st. Euclid his 13th. Royals beat the Rangers in 10. A lot of extra inning ball games. 7-6. Frank Core hit his 10th for Kansas City. I don't think we mentioned the Nationals, or maybe you did, George. Beat the Marlins 4-1. Strasburg now 12-5.
How many innings is that for Strasburg now? I know at the 160 they're pretty emphatic about it.
He's not there yet. Doug's going to let us know how many innings he's thrown. Phillies, George beat Arizona 5-4. First home run of the year for Stephen Drew for Arizona. Goldschmidt is 16th. Utley hit his 7th for Philly. (2-1). Sanchez fouls that off.
He has 127 innings now.
Well, you know, averaging, say, 6 innings to start, George. That's just 6 more starts, and that puts him over 160.
That he's done.
They've been very emphatic.
Yeah, Mike Rizzo on the other day, the MLB channel the other night, with his picture saying, "I know I'm going to get ridiculed for it, but you know what? It's about the future, not the present. And we feel we have some guys in place that can carry the load and take us there."
You see, when it gets closer, it'll be interesting if they alter that thought at all.
If that's what they choose to do, hey, that's fine. I'll respect their opinions of what they're trying to accomplish.
I mean, I understand both sides, because the bottom line is to try to win a championship. They're very difficult to win. The Nationals have an outstanding team. You don't know how many times opportunity knocks.
From what they've built and what they've spent on Worth, Harper, Strasburg, other people that they've signed free agency, they feel like it's going to be there a while.
We've heard that before in this sport. Nationals with the second best record in the National League to the Reds. This is a tough play for Pacheco, and he made it happen. That was like a shortstop going in the hole. Jordan rises and threw it across the diamond to help to get Hector Sanchez. Nice play, George Pacheco. Cold hard blast last night. Josh Rutledge has become a familiar scene at Coors Field. The trot around the bases, his 6th home run in what was his 20th Major League ball game. 30 uniforms, like 12 all over again. Of course, like cold hard blast. Well, Rutledge will lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies looking for an extraordinary rally. 8-2. Brandon Belt stays in the ball game for Buster Posey at first. And another former Rocky on the hill. Both lefties in the bullpen. Good ones for the Giants and former Rockies. Javier Lopez, and now Jeremy Affeldt with his 42nd appearance.
And he's pitched well also coming out of that bullpen. The thing is, it's the closer's role they've had some difficulty with over time. He has 8 holes, 247, 43 2/3. They look for 3 outs with a 6-run lead. Josh Rutledge, Helton, and then Gonzalez.
Spotless relief by Sergio Romo. The Rockies were trying to make a move in the 7th inning. They had scored a run. They loaded the bases with 1 out. Matt McBride pinch hit, and Romo struck him out looking on a slider, and then Willeen Rosario swinging. And then he worked a 1-2-3 8th inning. So 5 set down by Sergio Romo. Rutledge 0 for 3 and a walk, takes another strike, and it's 0-2. Arias throws out Rutledge, 1 out. Helton a double in the first, a line out, a walk, and he was caught looking, facing Javi Lopez.
Todd, one of the left-handers that has handled Jeremy Affeldt through his career, 375 lifetime average against.
And he hits it sharply, but right at Crawford. 2 outs. Two outs, nobody on. Cargo coming up. A walk, a ground out, a strikeout, and a sharp single to drive in a run for Carlos's 73rd RBI of the year. He waited nicely on that breaking ball.
Well, I think, too, you're starting to see Gonzalez fire early on Lopez and Affeldt, who either throw the big sweeper or big downer. And he's firing early if they leave it in that inner half, trying to take advantage of it. Wants it really down in the dirt. They threw it right where Sanchez wanted it, on that lower half of the strike zone. Giant fans have stuck around here. They're going to throw another curveball. You can see him asking for it, begging on the pancake way down. Base hit to right. Nice job of hitting there by Gonzalez.
30th multi-hit game this year for Cargo. Actually, let me correct that. 40th multi-hit game for Cargo. And Pacheco's had a multi-hit game himself. 2 for 3 and a walk. Cargo will run down to second base. Put an old DI in the scorebook, defensive indifference. You write that down, George?
Yes.
Not a baby.
Actually, I drew a line. He's now at second.
Giants hold on here. It'll be their 4th sweep of the year. They'll improve to 6-2 against the Rockies. And the Rockies, in 6 matchups at Coors Field, will be 1-5 against the Giants. You know, this is another one of those years, George, where you look at the standings. If you're a Rockies fan, the NL West, now obviously the Rockies not anywhere close to where they want to be, but the division, I mean, the Giants are leading it currently 9 games over 500, so it's not like you've seen a real dominant display by a team in the National League West. Last year, you kind of got that from Arizona. They just worked their way to 94 victories, but you know, it's anybody's division right now among the top 3 teams. Arizona lost today, but they're just 3.5 back, at least beginning play today. And there's a whole lot of baseball left.
That's the ticket of what you said there. There is a whole lot of baseball left to play. And I think this is something that we have to be able to look at as things start to go down and people start to play and the races tighten up. People get back into races throughout baseball. Exciting times.
3-2 on Pacheco. No swing.
Well, what it tells me is that Jeff Nelson threw it on Bill Wilkie. He didn't want to call it. Did he go? I didn't think Pacheco did, but a lot of times in this instance, 6-run ball game, they'll ring him up.
That's what I was just thinking. I give Welke a lot of credit. I mean,
sure.
You're watching professionals work, and you stay professional no matter the situation.
4 for 17 is what San Francisco. Rockies 2 for 10 in runners in scoring position in this ball game today.
So Matt McBride with his second at bat, struck out looking in the 7th inning. Pinch hitting, stayed in the ball game in right field. He pinch hit for Colvin. Came up with the bases loaded. Slow hook, a strike. And McBride with a base hit up the middle. Cargo cuts third. He'll score. And Matt McBride, 2 ball games in the big leagues, 2 RBIs, 3 hits.
Yeah, Dan pretty excited, obviously. A lot of clapping and high-fiving going on. Bruce Bochy's like, I'm going to have to go down to the bullpen again. Fastball right back up the middle. Rosario, though, is a potential hit the ball out of the ballpark. As you look at that swing of McBride, that they're not going to give the left-hander a chance to face the right-handed hitting power of Marlene Rosario. They'll go to the bullpen and bring in the right-hander.
That's got to be extremely frustrating for Bochy. With a 6-run lead, to feel like he's got to go get his pitcher with 1 out left in the ball game.
And not only that, he'd had 0-2 count on Cargo after 2 quick outs.
8-3. Back in a moment. Well, Matt McBride just singled in the Rockies' third run. There are 2 outs in the 9th inning. Willeen Rosario coming up, and he's going to face Shane Lukes.
Right-hander got a pretty good slider, so that's probably why he got him ready to go if this happened. To come in and face Rosario. It's a no-dot slider. Looks like 4-seam fastball in the last second. Will jump on you. 93 with a low 3/4 rising fastball. 12 ball games. That's all he's been into. 18 1/3 though. Worked a little bit as a long man out of the bullpen. 9 strikeouts, 4 walks. Rosario trying to add to the home run column. He's given up 3.
And a bouncer up the middle. They get the out. Yeah.
Oh, boy, I don't know. One was not ready to go home in Wilkie. The other, Guccione, says, I'm here.
I think he was out, though.
Well, let's look and see.
It's a pretty good flip there by Terrio to Crawford, and Foot beat
got him
other
by. You
Foot.
bet you did.
That was a good call. So the Giants sweep the Rockies. The final score on Sunday, 8-3. Lincecum gets his 6th win of the year. He's 6-11. Chatwood in his first start of the year, returning from Tulsa, takes the loss. He is 1-2. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Visit jimmyjohns.com to find a location near you. Hunter Pence had a big day, his biggest in his brief time with the Giants, from coming over from Philadelphia. A couple of doubles, 3 RBI day for the high energy Texan Hunter Pence. The Rockies with the loss fall to 38-68. The Giants are 59-49. It's the first time the Rockies are 30 games below 500 since August of 2005. Toyota postgame